Hey, it's Lucas, and today I'm going to be reviewing this Grapefruit Gift from Curaleaf. Before we get into this review, I have to get the YouTube gods on my side, so this is 100% legal UK medication. I am not going to be showing the medication, and I am not going to be using the medication in this video. So Grapefruit Gift is a cross between Grapefruit Romulan and God's Gift, two strains I don't think I've ever had separately on the street. This is coming in at £59 for 10 grams, so £5.90 per gram, and it's from Curaleaf. According to medbud.wiki, there are three dominant terpenes in this. They are caryophyllene, limonene, and myrcene. So first up, I'm going to start with the packaging like I always do. I'm going to start with the positives because I don't want to just bombard you with negativity as soon as you've started watching this video. So the packaging on this, I'm glad that it comes in a bag. And I think that's about the only good thing that I have to say. I just find it kind of depressing. Like, honestly, the blue on this, it brings me down. It doesn't make me feel uplifted, and it just makes me feel sad. I don't know why that is. I just don't like the packaging on the Curaleaf bud. Everything on the front is clear and very easy to read. I haven't tried to scan that QR code, so I have no idea where that takes you. If you want to try it, please leave me a comment and tell me where you go. It says Cura GGT 18%, THC 18%, CBD less than 1%, cultivar Grapefruit Gift. There is the batch number, and then the expiry is 3rd of the 3rd, 2025. I'm going to give the packaging a 6 out of 10. I feel like I'm being very, very generous there. I don't know, I've just taken a dislike into it, but I'm trying to be nice, so 6 out of 10. Also, my tripod's doing that stupid thing where it likes to fall over, so if you noticed that during the video, no you didn't. Moving on to the smell. When I first opened this bag, I was hit with a very strong grapefruit smell. There is no denying that it was absolutely 100% grapefruit. It definitely wasn't a sweet grapefruit though. I feel like the more that I put my nose in the bag, it got earthier, it got spicier. It was definitely still citrus, but it wasn't a sweet candy citrus. It was musky, it was earthy, and it was spicy. After 2 weeks in a glass jar with a Boveda pack, this definitely improved. It wasn't bad to begin with, but it had that musty sort of medical sat around for a while smell. I don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about, but to me, that's what it smells like. Every time I get bud, it just smells a little bit musky until it's been in a jar for a couple of weeks. So after 2 weeks with a Boveda pack, popping the jar open, the smell is actually really, really nice. It is 100% grapefruit. I know I've said that probably a million times already, but there's no escaping it. It really does smell like grapefruit. Underneath that grapefruit smell, it is, like I said, spicy, a little bit musky, but not in the damp sort of basement way that I was talking about in the beginning. It develops into earthy, and I don't really know how to describe this. It's musky, but not bad musky. Spicy, peppery, earthy, musky, like dank musky, not like damp musky. Spicy grapefruit is what I'm going to call it. It was actually very, very nice. So for the smell of the whole nugs, I'm going to give it 7 out of 10, I think. I was thinking 7.5, but just a 7 out of 10. I think that's very, very fair. And then when you throw it in the grinder, it breaks down more dense than it does fluffy. The sweetness comes out when you grind it up. You almost get a hint of candied orange and lemon peel, but definitely it still keeps the spicy, musky herbalness. It does smell better when it's ground up, so I would bump it up to a 7.5. Overall, for the smell, ground up and also whole, I'm just going to give it a straight 7.5. I was very surprised. It's not sweet candy grapefruit. It's definitely spicy, musky, peppery grapefruit, and it's really, really nice. So 7.5 for the overall smell. Now moving on to the looks, if you want to see what these nugs look like, click the link in the pinned comment. That'll take you to a short. I obviously can't show it in this video or else it'll get age restricted and no patients will be able to find it. I'm not mad about how this looked at all. It was medium to small size nugs, but although I enjoy getting some bigger nugs sometimes, I'm not really that bothered. Dense nugs with a good dusting of trichomes, lots of orange hairs, and the nugs were actually green. I was expecting them to be brown or at least that yellowy looking stuff that you kind of get sometimes. But they weren't. They were actually very nice looking. Considering that they're only a month away from expiry, I was expecting just dirt brown, horrible looking bud, to be honest. But this was very, very nice. I'm not disappointed at all. I'm going to give the looks a 7. I'm not disappointed. I genuinely was expecting to get something horrible considering the track record that Curaleaf's got. This is the first time I've tried Curaleaf bud and I'm not disappointed. So we've got 7.5 for the smell, 7 for the looks, and now onto the taste. Again, I was pleasantly surprised by this. I was expecting it to not have any flavour whatsoever, but this was actually very, very nice. Now don't get your hopes up that you're going to get punched in the face with intense citrus and spice, because that's not going to happen. What you do get is a nice sweet grapefruit taste. For about 4 or 5 pulls, and then it just fades out. The way that I medicate is with a mighty vaporizer through a water pipe, and this is my nighttime strain, so I usually set it at about 180, and then I'll temp step all the way up to 210 until there's no vapor left. I've actually found that no matter what temperature you start at, you do get the same flavor for the first 4 or 5 pulls, and it doesn't really change, it just fades out. The flavor that I get is a mixture of sweet and sour grapefruit. It is more on the sweeter end, until you've taken, like I said, your 4th or your 5th pull, and then it starts to get a little bit spicier, and then it turns into that burnt popcorn vape taste. So for me, the flavor is getting a 7. The fact that this is £59 for 10 grams and it's giving me this amount of flavor, some of the more expensive strains to the £85 and the £90 range have not given me any flavor, so this it's just, I think it's good, okay? So sweet, a little bit spicy, definitely grapefruit. It's getting a 7 out of 10 from me. Finally, moving on to the effects, this for me was actually really, really good. I was not expecting to be hit in the face this hard for only 18% THC. I'm not joking when I say I vape this around 2 to 3 p.m. on my days off, and I've genuinely had to take myself to bed for a nap because it's just, I'm not able to function sometimes off of this. I got this as a daytime strain because it's low percentage THC, but it is still an indica, and that's what works for me during the daytime. I had a lot of success with Banana Ice Cake from Kiron, and I thought that this would be similar, not really in the terp profile, but in the strength, and with it being an indica as well, I thought that this would give me similar effects, but actually, this for me is 100% a nighttime strain. I find that within the first couple of inhales, my entire body gets relaxed. I get heavy eyes, and I also get the sort of, I call it a headband sort of feeling, where it feels like something is resting just where my eyebrows are, and it's sort of pushing down, it's making it so it's hard to keep my eyes open, but I'm still able to, it doesn't straight put me to sleep, I just kind of lay there a little bit, slumped like a zombie. It slows down my thoughts and it makes it difficult to think. I've said this in a couple of my other reviews in the past. I personally like that feeling because I medicate for anxiety and depression. On a nighttime, my brain, it just races and it goes round in circles and it does not stop. So I need a strain that is gonna make me, I always say make me stupid, and I feel like that does actually make me sound stupid, but I need it to make me foggy so that it's harder to think through. I can still form thoughts and do what I need to do, but it sort of, it dampens the anxiety. Imagine, this is going to sound really stupid. How do I make this not sound so stupid? Okay, so imagine like a Hot Wheels on a track, and it's going round and 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 round. That's my brain. Now imagine, no, that sounds really dumb. Put your hand over the car, right? Make it so that it can still move and you can still think, but it's not whizzing round and round and round. You've got control over it, and you are the one that's making it move around the track instead of it just going off and off and off and doing its entire thing until it spins out and it's a whole disaster. I don't think that made sense at all, but if it did get through to somebody, then cool. It's kind of an odd one because 2 capsules on a nighttime, and I am medicated, but I'm still able to function and do what I need to do. If I have, sometimes, not all the time, but if I just have 1 capsule in an afternoon, I was going to say morning then, but I don't usually tend to vape before 10:30, 11 o'clock-ish. I don't know why, I don't feel the need to before then. So if I vape a capsule of this around 11 o'clock to say 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it will just make me feel really, really tired to the point where I either sit there and don't do anything, or I will go and have a nap. Whereas on an evening, I can vape 2 capsules of this and, you know, just relax and ride it out. Not quite sure on that one, but that's just the way that it affects me. This is not a daytime strain for me, but if you are wanting a comparison, if anybody's tried Atomic Sour Grapefruit, which I have also reviewed on this channel if you want to go check that out after this video, this is very, very similar. I would say, in my opinion, it's not quite on par, but if you can't afford to go for the £85 Atomic Sour Grapefruit, definitely go for the can't even get my words out then. The £59 Grapefruit Gift. My brain really wanted to say Atomic Sour Grapefruit then again, but no. If you can't afford the Atomic Sour Grapefruit, definitely give the Grapefruit Gift a try. And even if you can, right, just give it a try. You might not find it as good, but for me personally, I feel like I would go for Grapefruit Gift over Atomic Sour Grapefruit from now on, because it's very, very similar. I'm not saying it's the same, but in my opinion, it smells pretty similar, it tastes pretty similar, and I would even go as far as to say that this one, for me, was stronger than the Atomic Sour Grapefruit. I remember I did a stream, can't remember what the stream was called, I think it was called like Vaping and playing Stardew Valley or whatever, and this was a while ago now. I sat and I vaped 3 capsules on that stream, and yes, I was medicated, but I wasn't like, I didn't need to go to bed after it, whereas if I'd have vaped 3 Grapefruit Gift, I would not have been on that stream, let's be serious. So it does just go to show that THC percentage is not everything. I'm not saying that this is going to be exactly the same for you, so if you try it and it doesn't work for you, that's not my fault. But for me, personally, I've found Grapefruit Gift and Atomic Sour Grapefruit to be very similar, and I actually do think that I prefer the effects of the Grapefruit Gift. Now, this does play into the price as well, because £59 for 10 grams or £85 for 10 grams. I'm definitely going to pick the cheaper one because it is just as good in my opinion. If you try it and you don't find that, don't hang me, you know, it's not my fault, but for me personally, it's like a budget Atomic Sour Grapefruit. Okay, so I've rambled for a little bit, let's jump into the rating. Looks 7, I don't really have any complaints. It looked, maybe if I'm really trying to pick fault, maybe it was a little bit old and a little bit dry, but after it had 2 weeks in a jar with a Boveda pack, it was fine, you know. I can only imagine that if I was able to leave it longer than that, it would just keep improving, but unfortunately I'm not in the position where I can put my meds in a jar for a month and not touch them, you know. I need that, that's my medication for the month. If I could, then I have no doubt that it would be great, but you know, I can't do that. Smell 7.5, this is definitely not a sweet strain, this is a spicy, earthy, musky, grapefruity, nose stinging sort of strain, and I really like that, so 7.5 for the smell. I can't remember whether I said 7 or 7.5 for the taste, but I'm gonna go 7.5. It does have a really nice taste. It doesn't last very long, but the taste that you do get is nice. And the effects, again, for me, are absolutely bang on. The fact that this is 18% THC and has physically put me to bed is just wild. So the effects for me, in lower doses for my anxiety, very nice. I am still working on that one when I vape it in the daytime for my anxiety, depending on what I'm doing. Sometimes it just melts it away, other times it dampens it, but I can still feel it, so I'm still working on that one. But for the nighttime and sleep, winner, absolute winner, 100%. I can't say that it's going to work for you in the same way that it works for me. I can't say that the lower THC percentage is going to have the same effects for you as it did for me. It's a lot about terpene content, terpene profile, whatever you want to call it. Look that up. I have not compared that to the Atomic Sour Grapefruit, so do your own research. But for me, I really like this. If I ever need a budget strain again to put me to sleep, 100% I'm going to get Grapefruit Gift. Overall, I'm going to give Curaleaf's Grapefruit Gift a 7 out of 10. I want to push it to 7.5, but I'm not. I'm going to leave it at a 7. I think it needs a little bit of improvement, but for a budget strain, £59, there is really, you can't fault it. It's pretty good, honestly. Like, people always say that I bash the expensive strains and that I always hype the cheaper strains, but really you need to think about that because the price doesn't always reflect in the quality. Some of the more expensive strains are not good, right? And some of the cheaper strains are not good. But when you find a gem like this one at £59 for 10 grams, you can't pass it up. I 100% recommend that you try this out. If you're medicating for the same sort of reasons as me and it fits the terp profile that you like, just try it. If you don't like it, then that's fine. If you do like it, then you can thank me later. Grapefruit Gift is getting a 7 out of 10 from me. If you like this video, leave a like, leave me a comment telling me what you think about Grapefruit Gift. Subscribe for more videos, tell me what I should get on my next script. Peace.